Hey everyone, it's day 8 of NaNoWriMo. My name is Melissa Bourbon. I am a writing coach, writing instructor. Writer Spark Academy is my company. I'm an author, so I wear all kinds of hats. I am here every day in November giving you a quick tip to help get you through NaNoWriMo. Please remember though to like, follow, subscribe to my channels. I really appreciate it. Today is day 8, and by now you've probably made some pretty good progress on your story. I hope so. Today I want to go over the 3-act structure with you so that you have it in the back of your mind as you continue to write. Okay, here we go. The 3-act structure. It is like the blueprint for your story. Think of it in terms of a building or a house. Let's go with a house. There is a foundation, and on top of that foundation are beams and joists, the frame that creates the main structure itself. And then there is the roof that sort of holds it all together. It's like the finishing piece. The 3-act structure divides your narrative into 3 main parts in a similar fashion. Each part has a very distinct purpose. So Act 1 is the setup. This is where you introduce your audience to the world of your story. It's like the foundation of your house. It's strong. It's essential. It kind of gives the core information. It is what sets the stage for everything that is to come. Again, it's the foundation of your story in our analogy. In Act 1, you introduce your protagonist, their everyday life, the key characters and the elements of your story. In the hero's journey, this is the ordinary world. This is where you establish the normal before the adventure begins. And your hero or your protagonist crosses over that threshold. Something extraordinary happens, called the inciting incident. And this event disrupts the protagonist's ordinary world. It creates conflict and it sets the story, the rest of the story, in motion. So Act 1 ends with a critical decision for the protagonist. Do they go on this adventure or do they not? This is the major turning point that propels your protagonist into Act 2. Act 2 then is called the confrontation. This is where the story's central conflict unfolds. In the building metaphor, the house metaphor, everything that happens in Act 2 is like the support beams holding that house together. This is the bulk of the story. Without the beams, without the drywall, without the joists, without all of that stuff, there is no house. And without the conflicts and the turning points that happen in Act 2, there is no story. So in Act 2, your protagonist faces obstacles, adversaries, and inner conflicts. They learn, they grow, they evolve as they strive to achieve their goals. They must do these things. We hit the midpoint when something significant happens. That is a turning point, sort of within a turning point. The protagonist's understanding of what is going on deepens, or a major revelation occurs, or there's a big reversal. Something big happens. At this moment, the midpoint, the protagonist basically faces a major crisis, an all is lost moment. They face their toughest challenge, and it seems that all hope is gone. But then they turn around and they keep going, which leads to Act 3 and the resolution. And this is the final part of the story. It's the roof on top of your house. It is the thing that holds it together. It is where loose ends are tied up and the story concludes. But before that is the climax. The protagonist confronts the villain, the major fear, whatever it is, that is the climax, that is the story's most intense moment, where they must use everything that they've learned throughout the story to overcome that final challenge. In the hero's journey, this is called the resurrection. It is the moment when everything comes together for the hero and they emerge new and improved. They are a new version of themselves. They are the master of 2 worlds, their ordinary world and the new world. After the climax, you have the denouement, where you reveal the consequences of the protagonist's actions. This is where you provide closure and satisfaction for your audience. So essentially, the 3-act structure is a roadmap, or again, that blueprint for your building or your house. It's creating tension. It's developing characters. It's delivering a satisfying resolution for the reader. The 3-act structure is a basic narrative structure that resonates with readers because it takes them on a journey. I'm going to talk more tomorrow about turning points in Act 2, so stay tuned for that. That's a pretty important one. And that's it. That's a wrap for day 8. Keep writing, and I will see you tomorrow.